So his second, no, both his deaths were like very relevant to the story. So it wasn't as shark jumpy as it sounds. Cracked crown isn't a dim bulb. Kind of felt good for you. It's okay, but yeah, I agree. It's not as good. Said, I mean, the biggest reason to watch the show, if you haven't watched it, has nothing to do with the story anyway. It has everything to do with Teal'c smiling at you. Like, there, if you want to be in a better mood, just see Teal'c smile. Like, you instantly feel better. I'm gonna grab a drink. I think it's 3 in the morning. Ugh, thirsty. And then Teal'c and O'Neill are very cute together. Like the episode where they have like a Groundhog's Day thing. I'll remember that forever until I die. Dude, I wish I could have a Groundhog's Day moment. Just give me like 10 years to relive the same day over and over and over. What's his face from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Really? Depends on the day. I mean, well, it's the thing, right? You get to make the day whatever the fuck you want to make it. If something shitty's gonna happen in the day, just don't go there. It's the same day, but you get to do whatever you want. So, like, who cares? Alright, one more. Weather would be important. Nah, yeah, I guess. Kind of. That's a as a guy who likes to fish, that's kind of fair. Like 10, yeah, if it was like 10 years of a negative 12-degree day, I might be a little upset. There's only so many ice activities I'm really interested in. My Groundhog's Day would just be 10 years of me going fishing every day. "12 years of a snowed-in driveway? All-wheel drive, man. Catching the same damn... No, I'd fish different places every day. Y'all are thinking way too inside a box here. There's only so many places you can reach to fish within 24 hours. I live in Michigan. $11,000 lakes in Michigan. That's just lakes. I should have just sneezed on that spider. Rivers, streams. An endless amount of boats to steal to go fishing on. Some rich dude's giant aquarium. They closed the SeaWorld. It's within driving distance. How far away is Minnesota? There's a fuckload more there too. I think we technically have more than Minnesota, even though Minnesota does the land of the lakes thing. I think we actually have more. Yeah, there's like a saying here that you can't drive more than like 2 miles in any direction without hitting fresh water. There's 4 lakes in my town. And a river. Why are there so many lakes? Well, you see, what day was it God created lakes, chat? Lake Day? The 3rd day. Alright, thanks. Should enter a bunch of follow. So that's the interesting thing. Like, yeah, if you compare it to lakes in other parts of the country, like you guys have a lot of reservoirs and stuff that are dammed up rivers that are massive, thousands of acres. Like my lake is like 80 acres. People have property bigger than that, you know? But there are some big ones too. We obviously have the Great Lakes all around us. But yes, glaciers is why there are so many lakes, is the real answer. And it's surprisingly dry here. Like, our ground is still pretty dry. It's not swampy. We have basements and stuff, you know, it's not like going down south, like Florida or Georgia, I think is the same, right? No basements. A lot of those places are too wet for them. Oklahoma. Surprised how wet Oklahoma was. Damn, Oklahoma, you wet. Yeah, salt versus freshwater.
People are always very confused, though, by the fact that my lake has no inlets. There's no water coming into it. There's no water going out of it. It's just a puddle dug in the ground by a glacier. It's groundwater. Oh, is it just the clay, KJ? I thought it was a mixture of both. I don't have a key, so I'm fucked again, huh? Oh, the shop's just open. I was trying to bomb into it. Key. But the Great Salt Lake is salty, so who knows? I could take Sharp Key, but I'd rather just carry this Book of Rev and not die. Are there fish in the Great Salt Lake? Is it too salty? Does it have its own fish? How many species of fish inhabit the Great Salt Lake? No fish. Yeah, I wanted some pre-salted fish. A lamprey? No. What is a lamprey? Some kind of eely thing, right? Eel with a ring of teeth. I'd like to catch one. That sounds tight. That goldfish gets abandoned. These are saltwater. That does not describe the difference between a sea and a lake at all. If lakes can be salty. And I hate it. What's this thing? It's probably bad it's only one heart. Lamprey are in the Great Lakes. Cool. I don't have a boat for that. That's one of the 5 boats I need. Mega Blast every 4 rooms? Yeah, don't care about that. I will take this, though. Just make a raft. That doesn't work on Lake Michigan. I spent lots of time there growing up, and I don't want to die. Can't swim. Shoreline fishing, it's a lot of fun. I would recommend it. It's a lot like progression video games, you know? You're just constantly trying to catch bigger fish. set a new personal best for yourself. Depends on where you live with the shore fishing, I think, too, though. What's my fish PB? So like every fish has its own PB, right? I don't know anymore. I'd have to think about it. I think my most impressive fish is like a 42-inch snook. Well, that'd be like the one that you'd brag the most about, I think. Because, yeah, like each species has its own. What's your from my lake PB? Probably not very. No, I did a 36-inch pike out of my lake. Which still isn't like a really big pike, but it's big for my size lake. The catfish PB on Tinder? I've never met anyone off Tinder. That shit weirds me out. Fastest I caught a fish, like setup and catch. Seconds? Like I catch fish loading my boat sometimes. Like on my lake now, I will I will always catch fish. I know my lake. I know how the fish behave on this lake. I will always catch fish. If I want to. Maybe not always the fish I want to catch, though. How much do you believe it would be getting into fishing? I think it still end up costing like $100 for all the stuff start. So it depends on this is what you're fishing for. Fishing is like most things. You don't need top of the line, high end stuff unless you're trying to become very, very good. Or you really think you are at a stage that you can even grasp what this is giving you over that. So no, like you could get into fishing for $50 and like catch state records. You do have to get a fishing license. They're usually not that bad. Oh yeah, so it'd be a little more than $50 you'd have to get a license. Depending on the state you're in. I think here they're like $20. I catch some fish. Or I keep some fish. I don't keep them all, though. I would be pointless. I couldn't possibly consume them all. Bum, bam, 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 bam. How do fishing sims compare to the real thing? Does it even scratch the itch or is the experience not comparable? They're really good, actually. There's a couple, two in particular out right now that I say are really good. One is exceptional, honestly. Russian Fishing 4. I know the name, but Russian Fishing 4 is an exceptional fishing simulator. Very, very good. Fishing Planet is a good fishing simulator until you realize the ways to abuse it a bit. Fishing Planet is a really good fishing simulator if you never Google it. If you Google it, it's bad. The biggest thing fishing simulators still lack is their ability to give you a really good fight control, right? That feeling of fighting a fish in a video game is something they really just haven't been able to do. What does that mean? So because it's a video game, if you Google it, you can learn how to catch the best fish every single time you play. Where with Russian Fishing 4, the fish are constantly changing and constantly moving, and the devs are constantly adjusting fish populations, as well as they even adjust fishing pressure. If a spot is getting fished a whole bunch because it's doing well, then it stops producing. It's very good. The devs are like pretty shitty people, but they make a real good game. Yeah, I've been begging a friend I have at Logitech to design me a force feedback fishing rod controller. I'd pay silly ass money for it. Why are the dev shitty people? Like, I don't know. They're just super weird. They're trying to force everybody onto their own client and off Steam, even though the game's been on Steam for a long time. Very controlling over their forums and shit like that, you know, just quick to throw you the ban hammer if you start talking shit. Yeah, Fishing Planet also does stat checks where you can't land massive fish on shitty gear. So, Russian Fishing 4 is the best. Hands down, there is no better. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Man, I really want that demon baby. I hate this devil deal layout. It's such a pain in the ass. I don't want both. As far as I know, every state in the country requires a license to the guy in Alabama. Every state I've fished, and I've fished quite a few, require a license. I am Tainted Azazel for the 95th time tonight. Sure. But the regulations are different other than that in like every state, as well as like licensing fees, what fish you can keep, seasons, all that shit changes state to state, man. Number of rods, number of hooks, types of hooks. Like New Jersey, I think is one of the first one to ban certain type of hook for a certain species of fish. Which is a weird one for me because like you can't really guarantee you're not gonna catch a fish. So it comes down to targeting it. Are you targeting that fish? And then you get into a lot of, you know, it's just he said stuff. Does trout have barbless requirements? Yeah, that's barbless requirements. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's a thing. But different than banning an entire. You can just cut the barb off a hook, right? Like you can't. I guess you could try to turn a J hook into a circle hook. Yeah, most spear fishing is actually done diving. It's not. People think it's like you're chucking spears into the water, but as far as I know, all spear fishing is done from in the water, underwater spear fishing. At least all spear fishing I've seen or heard about. Bow fishing, yeah, there's a lot of that goes on here. A lot of bow fishing for carp. Those boats roll up on me all the time at night and scare the shit out of me, dude. They have so many lights on them and stuff. Plus, you know they have a weapon. I mean, you can do lots of things. I'm discussing, like, when it's actually done. Like, the majority of spear fishing that's done is diving. That I know of. Dude, I love Hatchet. Classic. The guy with a gun rack on his boat? No. You can't here. Your boat is considered a vehicle. It's considered concealed. Can't carry a gun on a boat. It's like putting in your car. So if you had a CCW, you could carry a gun in your car or in your boat. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, due to by concealed laws. Yeah. Which is super weird to me. The like where they draw that line on concealed to open carry. I have $3 bills, so lots of things are happening to that brim. It's tiny because Tainted Azazel. He's got a small one. You can have your gun in the car, just not loaded. And your ammunition and gun are supposed to be separated, stuff like that. So you can still carry a gun in a car, you just can't carry a gun in a car. You see the difference? That was cool. Yeah, I don't have a car with a trunk anymore either, so like, I used to. And then I always felt like I knew I wasn't breaking any laws, but I always get weirded out about how to keep the gun and the ammo away from each other and out of reach when when I'm in a compact SUV. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's usually I do lazy ammo in the glove box and gun in the back. And just pray I don't get a cop that wants to get shitty with me. Perfect heart pattern. How big is your glove box? Gallagher plans to shoot. Gun talk's funny to me too. Don't worry. I mean, I'm paranoid at the sight of a gun too. Down, down, down. We had a guy a year or two ago that was at we have like a town festival every year. And he had a gun strapped to the back of his military grade baby carrier and baby. And I don't think I've ever been so uncomfortable by a man with a gun. So it was like baby on his chest, gun on the back of the baby. And I asked the local cops, like, man, that can't be legal, is it? Like, technically, isn't the baby possessing the gun at that point? But there was nothing they could do. Yeah, it was whatever that tactical shit's called. I don't fuck with tactical gear. That military-looking stuff with all the places to hold your ammo and stuff. So you imagine a regular American father? Not quite. I've never attached my guns to my child. The reason it, like, my daughter has shot a gun and like, judge me however you want. I don't care about that. But the reason that one's so fucking wild is like you're displaying the gun, right? And this is the big argument for those that don't know why we're so, even us gun owners, most of us are against open carry. And it's because it makes the gun an obvious target, right? And now not only are you making the gun an obvious target, you're making that obvious target on the back of your child. So if someone goes to grab for your gun, they're going to be smashing into the back of your newborn. Like, this was a baby. Like, 6 months tops. It was wild, dude. There's a picture on my Twitter of it somewhere. Yeah, and posturing, right? At least it wasn't in front of the baby. I mean, I guess. Sure. Either way, I still think the argument of technically wasn't the baby holding the gun should have been enough for law enforcement to get involved. I know that they said they contacted Child Protective Services, and Child Protective Services probably has more power there than the police do. You should have got a hologram. Depending on the gun, yeah. I mean, at least damage, right? Like, the majority of firearms are at a high enough decibel to do damage to your hearing. Obviously, you're not going deaf. A lot of us listen to music at a high enough level to damage our hearing and shit like that, right? So, like, I've had this conversation with quite a few of my friends who are gun owners and hunters and stuff. But that's why I got 2 suppressors this year. Like, I'm sick and tired of fucking ringing my ears when I shoot a deer in the woods. But you can't exactly wear ear protection and hunt. You need to hear the majority of the time you know a deer is coming, you hear it coming. It's not you see it, you hear it. And I'm just so point in my life where I don't want to deal with continuing to ring my ears. It's super nice to be able to shoot suppressed. I always thought that they were just something you got to look cool until I started shooting with them. Movie, thank you for the gift sub. How many shots can you shoot through that suppressor? I mean, I don't know the exact number, and I won't ever fire. I'm not that much of a gun guy, man. Like, I won't ever shoot that many. But I think it's a lot, thousands. And I think if you shoot casually, like at a slow rate of fire, like potentially a lifetime worth of shots. Suppressed guns are still really loud? No. Depends on the gun. Like, I have one where you can cocking the gun is far louder than shooting the gun. you can hear the hammer hit. It's a lever action. You can hear the hammer hit over the sound of the bullet escaping the muzzle. Some guns are movie quiet, legitimately. But most guns I use in movies wouldn't be that quiet. But yeah, like if you've ever seen a suppressed lever action gun, they're remarkably, like, nearly silent. You're hearing the mechanical pieces of the gun over the shot. Yeah, well, if you're shooting a suppressor, you should be shooting subsonic, or you're defeating the purpose of the suppressor. So yeah, ammunition, most ammunition we fire from regular guns without suppressors breaks the sound barrier, and therefore you hear that, as well as the gun itself. So when you're shooting a suppressor, you shoot subsonic rounds that are below the sound barrier, so... How far would you hear them? I don't know. It depends on the background noise, you know? Like, again, I'm a hunter, so in the woods, fuck, you can hear... I hear dudes coughing that are like half a mile away sometimes when I'm hunting. You know? You also get into weather effects sounds so much, you don't realize that, but like late evenings and early mornings, how loud things can get, or how far sound can travel due to, like, I think it's just air pressure, I think is how Doge was trying to explain that to me. But could you be a stealth assassin? Yes, absolutely. Like, yes, if you were shooting in a public place, yes, you could actually shoot somebody from a distance where they would not hear you at all. That is possible, yes. Very possible. I'm gonna take it just because I want my no red heart containers back. But yeah, Google like a lever action 357 suppressed, and it's literally just, it's silent. It doesn't make a goddamn noise besides the gun itself. But the shot doesn't make a goddamn sound. And it looks silly because it's a fucking cowboy gun with a suppressor on it, which is why I love it so much. Pasty has a suppressed MP5. It's really quiet too, and it can rattle off some rounds. But it's just 9mm. The no murder. I know, like, I mean, the option is there. I mean, that's a silly statement for me. No, you're gonna tell me no one's ever been shot with a lever action 357? Maybe not a 357. How about a 44 or a 30-30? Like, the fact is, lever action is super quiet. A 45-70. You know, those guns have killed hundreds of thousands of people. They kind of won the West, right? Suppressed air pistol? Yeah, I'm doing a suppressed 300 blackout pistol. I'm trying to keep it under 12 inches. Because it's funny. I want to make the tiniest baby AR. because it's funny, and so I can continue to like show people how dumb gun rules and laws are when they ask me questions like this. The whole pistol AR thing is wild. So you can get ARs in pistols, which means you can concealed carry them with a permit, right? You can carry around an AR in your pants legally. But because they can't have real stocks, they have to have what's called braces, which is basically just a stock that can also snap onto your arm. And the only reason that people like have been able to keep them legal is because they're used by people with disabilities. Yeah, the whole concept of them was created as like a way to stabilize a gun with one hand. But then they just build them to look exactly like stocks, and they extend out just like a stock. You stand correct. It's literally like unrealistically cool. You wouldn't believe it. Lever action, it's because of the way the gas escapes. Yeah, yes, why wouldn't they? Yes, a guy with one arm shield own a gun. What the fuck kind of... I used to shoot yearly in a... Oh my god, Mom. A Special Olympics shooting. They did like a regular... That sounds bad, but they did a everybody tournament and then a Special Olympics archery competition, and it was super cool to see all the custom ways they came up with to shoot archery with one arm or no arms, or it was really amazing stuff, man, to participate in the hobby, you know? I do not have a bull. I only have two ARs. And one of them was like, as I bought it just for the pieces of it, and I sold a bunch of pieces off it and made money off it, so I just need to get rid of the rest of the gun. I don't want it. The one's just my primary hunting. I have mainly shotguns and lever action rifles. I have like 3 shotguns, 4 shotguns, 4 shotguns, and then 4 or 5 lever action guns. I want to do a 7.62 just because the ammo is still cheap, but I haven't gotten around to it, and I'm poor. And it's not a priority. Someday. I like shooting for fun a little more than I used to. I was never really big into shooting guns as like a sport thing. I don't know. It's just very easy to do. Besides pistols. Pistols are very difficult. Do I hunt anything other than deer? No. Most of my guns are inherited. I just inherited like 9 guns from my grandfather. I've only purchased 3 of my 14 guns. I think I have now 14 or 15 guns. I got one as a kid. I got one when I was like 7 or 8. I got a 22. And then my mom gave me her shotgun at my 18th birthday for not smoking cigarettes. Ironic. And then the rest are all inherited. Bit of an arsenal. Yeah, but it's all like lever actions and shotguns. It's not really an arsenal. It's like, what are you gonna do? You can't shoot more than one of them at a time. Don't smoke guns, smoke deer. Yeah, my mom was big into hunting and archery and gun or hunting. She never was really big into shooting, but hunting. For the revolution with shotguns. Even my like the AR that I actually shoot is only a 5-shot. It's not even like because it's a really big round, so it doesn't. There's licenses, yeah. So we buy licenses based on the kill. Oops. Like, come hunting season, I'll buy a combo tag, which will let me take 1 buck and 1 doe. And then you can usually buy extra doe tags, but every one you kill, you tag that animal, and that license is gone. It's not like you buy a license to hunt and then just get to hunt all year. Very regulated season and very regulated what you take. There are some animals that you can hunt year-round and that are fairly unregulated. A lot of the small game like squirrels and raccoons. Raccoons and coyotes are just nuisance animals now, so you can... I don't even know that you have to have licenses for them. Maybe just a small game license. I don't know, I don't kill them because I'm not eating them. Yeah, we don't have hogs yet. Not around me. Is it really called small game? Yeah, small game license is a thing. Man, do I have the damage for this? I don't think I do. I think I'm gonna get smoked. But I don't trust myself to try to farm up health. Just haven't been playing very well tonight, or ever. It's a few Polaroid hits, but man, I just... There was a charge judgy, was there? I'm an idiot. Turkey hunting is the other, like, big hunt around here, but I don't know. Like I said yesterday, I don't feel like it's very worth it. I don't care to have turkey that much. Oh yeah, turtles. There's very strict regulations for the number of turtles, the size of turtles you're allowed to take. I know some people who regularly get turtles. You don't really hunt turtles, you just kind of grab them. It's not like you're shooting them. You just grab them. Like, we have so many fucking snapping turtles here. You could... It would take a lot of turtle trapping to... You can trap them too. Kitchen patrolling for the 23 months. And frogs have regulations as well. Crayfish. Or crawdads. Whatever you want to call them. We grab snapping turtles all the time. I don't know, that's my childhood. Me and my mom would go out on the rowboat. Team Jones, thank you for the prime. We'd go out on the rowboat just as it was getting dark with a big flashlight. Damn it, I'm losing health now. With a big flashlight, and we'd shine down and look for snapping turtles and put them in our boat that leaked really bad and let them swim around in the boat with us. You just stay away from the ones that have a mouth big enough they can take a finger. I've had leatherbacks, or whatever they're called. We call them leatherbacks. Soft shell turtles get me way worse than snapping turtles, because their head is so long, dude. They shoot a snake out from under their shell. I would never do noodling, no. It's not really popular, man. The dumb TV show made it seem like it's something people are really doing a lot of. It's not popular. It's illegal in most places. Yeah. You have to catch fish here with a rod and reel, an arrow, or a spear. You cannot catch them with your hand. It is illegal. I mean, you can't even keep a fish if you accidentally hook it wrong. A lot of people don't realize that either. If the fish didn't bite your hook, you're not supposed to keep it. Nets are a no-go here. There are some places where you're allowed to use like cast nets to catch bait, but rarely to catch fish that you're eating. Yeah, snagging is mostly illegal, and even if you're fishing in a method that, you know, normally the fish would bite, sometimes they'll like go, like you'll have a lure swimming through the water and the fish will strike at it and miss and hook his side or hook his tail, and you're not supposed to keep that fish. That fish doesn't count. Bow hunting is legal, yeah. But I think it's only certain. I don't know the laws on it all, but I think it's only certain species of fish. I think it's very few species of fish you're supposed to bow hunt, I think. So then you throw it back and it dies from your stomach. So, like, yes, and that's why people disagree with the law. But the problem is, if we don't have the law, then people go out intentionally trying to catch fish that way, right? So it's the unfortunate side effect of, yeah, you wish people would just use their fucking brain, but they won't. They'll abuse. If we allowed you to keep a fish that was foul hooked, is the way it was, to the correct term, foul hooked, then people would go out intentionally foul hooking fish. So yes, throw back the fish that's probably going to die. Or can you use a trident? I think some of the spears are tridents. How do you intentionally do it? Like, it's super common with salmon. It's actually the way most salmon are caught, is snagged, because salmon, when they go to lay their eggs, they stop eating. They go to lay their eggs and die. That's it. That's their life cycle. So they will just throw big ass hooks and drag them through the water. But I can see fish, depending on where you live. Like, I live in a place where the water's very clear, so I can see most of the fish I catch. Especially during like spring and fall when they're in the shallows. So if I really wanted to try to snag them using using sight, I could. Yeah, man, I suck at this fight. Oh, and I didn't sneeze. He's throwing his children at me. I've never even seen this phase. I'm doing 0 fucking damage is why. I can't sneeze. I charge too fast. That's dumb, actually. There it goes. Really? Really? I'm trying to sneeze on you. Oh my god. The light got me there. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh, I did it. Yeah, so that character never seems like it has very much damage, especially when you can't keep your sneeze up. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Subs and stuff. I love you. See you probably tomorrow.